What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to Apothecary Diaries Season 2, this time with episode 14. Good episode last time out, a little bit of fan service for the people that like that. Wasn't awfully much, to be honest with you, actually, but especially considering the kind of tone of the episode, but it was a really fun one. Again, sorry I keep confusing the bug girl with the other girl at the pavilion. I think I've got a good idea of what I'm looking out for now. Funny enough, on that topic, there was a specific scene with Lady Lishu at the end of the episode that I didn't pick up on, which is really ironic considering I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but considering I've been spoiled on the topic that was kind of hinting at, it's quite amazing that I didn't notice that scene actually. But yeah, lots of little interesting bits. We did end off the episode with another ghost, which is interesting. Again, I imagine it's some kind of like light reflection thing, judging from what we saw in the preview. But yeah, do let me know what you guys think about this episode in the comments. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. Let's get right into it. It's weird hearing a man's voice for the opening of the series. Like I said, whenever I think of like a song for this series, it's always that singer who sung the initial opening and the first opening of this season. One thing I don't like about this, to be honest, is those masks. They don't look great, do they? They don't look like they're like physically there. Not sure how you guys feel about that. Everything else I love, but yeah, the masks kind of like that. It looks a bit sloppy. Maybe that's just me being a bit picky, but it really does just look like doesn't fit style wise. Almost like a photorealistic mask, and like, it doesn't look like she's holding it. I wonder why they done that. They probably might have, well, again, I've got no real idea, but it seems it would have been easier just to draw them. That little hairpin. Look out for that hairpin. And I think we did see in the preview a little bit more Jinchi today, which is good. Didn't have any of him last week, I think. Smug. Rather impressive. See, like, I don't want to be too much of a stickler on this topic, but I had a whole argument with someone the other day about this whole situation, being problematic and Jinchi being ruining the show and so on. And I just like I'm completely the opposite train of thought. Don't get me wrong, I like the romance moments. I don't watch this show for them. Like, I wouldn't really care if there isn't any from here on. And I think that is a thing that people that have read the source material have said. They're not awfully enamoured by these moments and prefer to just focus on a Mau Mau. And I don't mind either way. I like these moments. I like them quite a bit. But again, I'd be just as happy if we didn't get them. And her first thought here, I think if she was actually in peril in this situation, like, her first thought would should be like, why would she be thinking about it like this? Why would she, like, the first thing you think would come to her mind would be something, she was so traumatized by this event and it was so outrageous and she got forced upon. It's like, would she be thinking like this? Like, I think people just want to like self-insert and like, and it's just they want to put like real life problems in anime and stuff like this, and political things in anime and so on, and it's just like, they just totally misinterpret the scene, in my opinion. Again, I think that's the popular opinion. But again, there are those out there that do see it as problematic, and I can kind of understand why. But it's kind of again putting words in the anime's mouth, like yeah, and yeah, the tone difference between the previous Emperor segments a few weeks ago and what happened with Jinchi and Mao Mao is just ridiculously different. I don't want to talk about it too much because it triggers me a little bit. It triggers me that people are getting triggered over something they shouldn't be. Imagine those people were born 30, 40, 50 years ago. Or at this age. In this fucking. Yeah, of course. Switching it around now, we know. Fair enough. That's a statement of intent right there. Mm. Like I said in the segment, it's much more. She was much more worried about the fucking secret and the implications of the fact that he's not actually a eunuch and his hidden identity, rather than yeah. Because we know Mao Mao's logical mind, we know how her head works. If you don't understand how who she is as a character by this point, it's frustrating. It really is. They always are, aren't they? They don't even put a bit of effort into even looking like they care. So we saw this woman in the preview, didn't we? She looks horrible. She's got that kind of like pretty face, but like a nasty face, if you know what I'm saying. It's quite usual with pretty people, good looking people. They're much less approachable. They look a bit nasty, and she's got that look. Sarcasm is a very British kind of associated thing as well. So I'm very used to people like this. Digger rats. Yeah. That's when she saw it. Grinning. So yeah, it really does like not look like a ghost at all, does it? It looks like a. I mean, the face looks like a person for sure, but it really does just look like a robe or curtain or something, doesn't it? Like that crap. It's like a crappy kind of Halloween costume of just putting a blanket over you. Hmm. I don't know what. I've seen way too many horror movies, so I don't know which movie it was. I'm usually good at remembering the ones I like and the good ones, but I've seen so many mediocre and crap ones. They all kind of mixed together. I see. It kind of reminds me of kind of not like Psycho per se, but what am I thinking of? But it, I'm struggling to get it out, but that is very suspicious. I feel like maybe that storage room was built. I can't remember what movie I'm thinking of here, but it was built to spy on people taking a bath. There's some way of like peeping on people here. I can't remember what movie I'm thinking of. I'm like thinking of Psycho, but it's not Psycho that I'm thinking of. It's something similar. Something like similar to like the Bates Motel. I need to watch that series to be honest. But yeah, it's yeah. I think a guy probably built this, and yeah, there's probably some kind of special lens or something, or little hole that you can peek through. Maybe a bit of wind goes through that hole, and that's what blew the curtain, perhaps. Got a peeping tom. Ugh, mold. Well, yeah. I was gonna say, how did this happen? But actually, yes, very, very likely. These dirty ass maids. Jesus, place is coming apart, and it was only recently built. Ugh, that's really quite disturbing, actually. If that is how I, yeah. It doesn't look like it's what I mentioned with the peeping tom. It would have been really disturbing if it was, considering this place was only built when Lishu got here. I'm glad that's not the case. I'm not sure how the water being drained factors into this. So that's source, yeah, that's where why it's being all mouldy. Okay, that makes sense. That's what's making the curtains move. Yeah, that's the bit I don't. Maybe it's like some kind of design on the window. Oh, we did see this mirror in the preview though, didn't we? Not sure how it makes a face though. How? That was like a realistic looking face. Maybe she's got the same thing I have, where you see faces in patterns, like in like wood and stuff. Okay. Well, that explains that. I wasn't expecting it to be something so niche. Perhaps is not exactly the word I'm looking for, but yeah, another series of coincidences. Which is quite funny how they all kind of came together like that, isn't it? Hmm. Knowing that the maids are the way they are, though, I'm not sure you could call this an actual like. It seems like a coincidence, but I'm not sure you could say that with 100% certainty. Hmm. I was gonna say, I'm surprised she didn't like smile, seeing her and crying and in pain like that. Go on, Alicia. Take what's yours. Get this bitch out of my face. That's a face fitting of her nature right there. He did. He tried to he tried get them to go away and get the drinks, but you just got disgraced. Oh, you don't worry, you'll be getting it soon. Keep acting like the way you do. Terrifying in a good way. Good job, Jinshi. I like that. Someone needs to sort those women out. Truly. Well, that was a really nice segment for Lishu. I like that a lot. Adding a bit more to her as a character there. Interesting to think about, isn't it? Again, we saw how Mao Mao was kind of born, well, not exactly how she was born, but we saw her grow up. When I say grow up, I mean just be left in the with all the prostitutes and so on. Just be left there. So it's not we didn't really see her grow up, but yeah, it's interesting. Mao Mao kind of comparing her growing up situation to Li Shu and the difference of like it probably that's the thing. It's probably more sad from. It's not really a game of which is more sad, but they're both really sad. But it's that thing of is it worse never having had like a mother's love and having a mother and so on, or is it worse having that but losing it? So it's a really interesting question. Obviously, we saw the answer during that scene there, and again, in terms of how Mao Mao's turned out, we see the answer of Li Shu. Obviously, was devastated and crying there, and so on. But Mao Mao never really seen get like that. To be honest, have we? It's just sad. So I think you'd much rather have known that than to have not known that. To be honest, it's obviously totally up to each person, but that's my outlook on it. Really good scene there. Like I said, adds a nice little bit to both their characters. Just give them a little touch. Yeah, just give them a little. Oh, can't be. Sorry, someone just flew at my face. Same as he did. So look out for the new eunuch. There was one specifically that stood out quite a bit, wasn't there? I haven't seen much of him since though. I'm really looking forward to seeing Lacan's son from that shot in the opening. Thank you guys for letting me know. I'm not going to say what, but someone left a comment about that situation last week. I was really surprised at. Mm. Like an acid, he is, isn't he? Like an acid, you try and pour someone in to poison him, but he just grows. He just becomes a more powerful acid poison. thing. It's like it's not just a situation if he wanted to express his love and attraction to Mao Mao. He obviously got caught up in that moment with the whole being touched and so on, and it was a romantic moment. I think again, some people see it totally the opposite, but it's not just that and the feelings. It's the fact that he wants to reveal his identity. He wants to let her know who he actually is alongside those. Like it's one and the same. I feel like he wants to let her know who he is, but alongside that is his feelings and his liking of her. Like they're his feelings and his identity hidden. There should be political and like the who his identity is like political, logical and so on, and the feelings like emotional and such, and they've really kind of been entangled. They should be separate, but he's kind of put two in one there, and I think that's where maybe a bit of confusion's coming from with the people that don't like the whole situation that happened in those episodes. But it's not that she's rejecting his feelings per se. I mean, she may very well be. We know her thoughts towards Jinshi. I think she is warming up to him, to be honest. But it's not just the fact that she's rejecting his emotions. She more so rejects wanting to know who he actually is, because as we see in this episode and previous couple episodes, it's dangerous. Why is this guy pretending to be a eunuch? Why is he able to get in these places and such that only the emperor and people of that kind of scale are able to? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the best at kind of discerning things and figuring out things and so on. No, I'm not the best at fully figuring out everything after one episode watch, but I feel like like I can understand that. I feel like someone that's read the source material should be able to. Sorry, again, it just triggers me a little bit. We're going to be getting a better look at that standout eunuch, that new one. I think he looked not much. I remember him looking, I wouldn't say like Jinshi, but he had a similar type of vibe. Well, you see that even today with people in prisons and such, so not awfully surprising. This guy, he's got a similar kind of feminine-ish look. Yeah. You know what? He almost looks a bit like that woman from season 1 that was researching the flowers, death flower things. It's been a while, so apologies. I can't specifically remember, but she ended up like leaving. Oh no. So I was seeing some videos of like people doing ice sculptures and them accidentally falling over, and was that her? I'm maybe a bit sad. I'm maybe a bit sad that did. Oh my god. But yeah, as I was saying, I don't know when this was, years ago probably. I was just like, you have these phases where stuff just like pops up on your YouTube and Twitter and stuff, and just had like a bit of a phase of watching people doing ice sculptures, like with chainsaws and like carving them, and it was really cool. But yeah, they'll inevitably sometimes just fall over and break, and it'd just be like 60, 70 hours of work just falling over for nothing. I mean, I think this is literally just like a block of ice, but I'm not sure. That's the thing. In some places in the world, especially during these time periods, it was actually very hard to have, especially big like blocks of ice, and transport them and keep them as blocks of ice and not not evaporating. So, yeah, well, that made me a bit sad. That did. We do see Mao Mao and Xiao Mao there as well, don't we? Damn, that made me a bit sad, honestly. Like, it's just a bit of ice, not a big deal, but you know this is a big deal. That's so sad. Well, hopefully nothing bad happens to her, but yeah. This kind of goes along with what I was saying earlier about me being a bit triggered about the whole Jinshi situation. If Jinshi really wanted to, we'll say, attack Mao Mao during that whole situation, he could have easily, and he could have easily gotten away with it. And he could, again, we've heard the story of the previous emperor and what he was up to. I don't think there's any doubt that if Jinshi wanted to do that at any point, he could. But we know he did. Yeah, obviously he didn't, and he won't. But yeah, with the status of things, this is not good for Xiao Mao, is it? This is not good for her at all. I'm hoping Mao Mao can make up some bullshit about like how it acts like naturally kind of broke. Like, oh, because of the heat of the sun that actually burnt one of the tires and it kind of imbalanced it, and that's how the ice fell. I'm not sure she's got that kind of level of status yet, though, fortunately. That kind of, that really hurt, seeing that ending off the episode like that. Nice. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. As I said, really good and effective episode today. Looks like we just run away. Judging from the preview. So run to Jinshi to help out is what looks like happens here. Maybe Yoko as well, perhaps. More likely Jinshi. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. As I said, really good episode. It definitely has been a bit slower in terms of like the season as a whole compared to season one. I've seen like the reviews for this season. There's quite a few negative ones, which I find surprising because I don't think this has been as good as the first season, but it definitely isn't like a major step down or anything. It's definitely like the same level for me. Kind of struggle to word it, but the events don't seem quite as big as they did in the first season, in the second season as they were in the first season, especially considering the end of the first season. But obviously, the exception to that is the frog stuff that did happen. But I still really enjoy it. I just like the mysteries and such, and it was not the craziest mystery or anything today. But it was much less about the mystery than it was about, again, the characters, Lady Li Shu and Mao Mao. It wasn't awfully heavy, and we didn't go into super detail or anything, but I really like the characterization that this episode did give them, as well as seeing more of the horrible maids that Li Shu's got, which really needs sorting out, to be honest with you. But I love seeing her fight back a little bit, taking back what's hers and what she finds important. And again, just like comparing Li Shu and Mao Mao, the slightly similar situations. Mao Mao kind of being abducted and taken here. Li Shu pretty much the same, but in a more grandiose type of way, with her becoming a consort and so on. So yeah, I'm glad it wasn't what I said about the whole Peep and Tom situation, which still not sure didn't happen, to be honest, considering like the details of that store place being built right next to maybe that was built by the previous emperor and he passed just as yeah, who knows. Let's not think about that any longer. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Again, pretty sad way to end off, honestly. Seeing her cry like this, that was like a dart to the heart right there. But hopefully it does get sorted out next week. Let me know what you guys thought about this one though down in the comments. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. And I'll see you guys with episode 15.